Let me first introduce the front-end interface of MyCLI in macOS operating system. On the left side is the sidebar, which shows the session list information, and on the right side is the main chat area, where the conversation with the model will be displayed. And at the bottom is the input area, where user types messages and send them to the model. You can notice that there's a reminding message, press H for help information, and I have already done that. This help message summarizes all available interactions with MyCLI, so let's try these interactions. First, I will try to create a new session. You can notice that there's on the top of the sidebar there's a new session button. This will create a fresh conversation while preserving all previous sessions. And as mentioned here, I can also press N to create a new session. That also works. And to switch between these sessions, I can use the keyboard up and down to switch these sessions. So beside the new session button, there's a sidebar talk button. Clicking this button will show or hide the sidebar, allowing users to focus on the main chat areas when needed. To send a message, I need to first enter the insert mode by press I here, as shown here. This will switch to the insert mode. You can see here this now is showing the insert, and by the way, I can always go back to normal mode by press EXC here. So in the insert mode, I can add anything to this model. So let's try. Hi, how are you? Now, once the message is ready, I can either press enter or the send button here. Each way will behave the same and send message to the model. Can you introduce yourself? And this time I will use the send button. Click the send button. Yeah, that also works. One of the key front-end features is message editing with branching. When I move the cursor over an existing user message, the edit icon will appear here. So after clicking that, the selected message will copy it into the input area, so I can edit it and resend the message. So as you can see, I made a little typo here, and let's fix that and resend the message. This will create a new branch, so it won't affect the previous branch. And of course, I can switch between these branches by keyboard shortcuts, left bracket, right bracket, as mentioned here. Left bracket, and right bracket. And I can also send a follow-up message in a branch. And you can see they are totally different branches. Overall, MyCLI is designed to support both keyboard-driven workflows and some clickable interactions.
Now I will demonstrate the context awareness feature of our system. So here I started the conversation in one session, and now let me check if the system still remembers my name. So as you can see, it remembers what I said earlier and continues the conversation based on the previous context. Now I switch to a different session which has its own conversation history, so it does not affect the previous one. In this session, I can work on the different task. So here I'm gonna ask a question about learning Rust. So you can see the response is pretty good. And when I switch back to the original session, the context is still preserved. The system remembers the earlier messages instead of starting from scratch. So this shows that the conversations are organized into sessions and each session maintains its own context.
In this demo, I will show how MyCLI use MCP2 calls and agentic workflow to complete tasks autonomously. So you can see on the left is our command line interface, and on the right is VS Code editor showing empty working directory called demo. So let's start. Create a new session and switch to insert mode. Let's give it a high-level instruction. Create a new Rust project called demo app using cargo, of course, in demo. Let's see. Yeah, you can see there, instead of only generating text, it decided to use MCP2 shell.run to create the demo app directory and cargo new. Yeah, it just did what I require. So let's check on the right. Yeah, it successfully created demo app project. So let's continue. Let's give you a follow-up instruction. Write a guessing game program in this project. And I would like also have a README file and also add a README file. Yeah, it decide to first check the content in main.rs using file system.read. And after it gets the result from the action, it uh, decide to using file system.write to overwrite the main.rs file. Let's check on write. Yeah, it generates all the code in main.rs. So let's see what it do next. Yeah, it checked the Tomo file and uh yeah, add a new dependency of rand with the version 0.8. Yeah, you can see also see on the left is 0.8 is same. Great. Uh, at last it write a README file. Cool. Yeah, basic README file. So it suggests we can run the code maybe. Yeah, let's try it. New terminal, cd to the demo app. Cargo build at first. Yeah, it successfully built and cargo run. Great, it's running. 360. It seems a little bit too hard for me. So yeah, let me give up. So let's wrap up. This is the illustration of how MyCLI integrates MCP2 calls and supports agentic workflow. The system now supports both simple Q&A in session one, you can see, and complex multi-step automation text like session two here.